Guys, hi beautiful people, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Afrikana here and I'm back like I never left. Okay, so guys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about Miss Africana International pageant and of course Mr. and Miss Supranational update. Okay, so if you are interested, don't touch that dial, keep on watching. So guys, on Miss Africana International pageant, which of course was recently launched by Abina, former Miss Grand International 2020 and also a judge in the MGI All Stars that was held recently. She launched this pageant called Miss Africana International, which caters for ladies of ladies in the African continent and also ladies outside the African continent who are of African descent, okay, or either of which parent is an African. And this pageant is open to ladies in Africa, Europe, Asia, and America. Okay, so if you are in those regions and outside Africa and you have you are of an African descent, or you are of an African descent, you are free to participate in the pageant. Okay, so this particular pageant celebrates the African ladies, and the African culture, the African heritage. I was really happy about it because I felt like, okay, this is one pageant that will celebrate the beauty of the African contestants, because you guys know that for a long time African contestants have really suffered from segregation. They have not really been they've not really been given that much recognition when it comes to pageantry. Most times they segregate the African countries. They are not really giving the recognition that they deserve when it comes to beauty standards, when it comes to beauty pageants, international beauty pageants. The African countries are really being segregated. They're not really giving that much recognition, and even if they perform over the board, they are not recognized. So I was like, this is a pageant that will celebrate the African contestants for once, and I was really happy about it. And of course a lot of persons have indicated interest, and national directors have been appointed from different countries. Okay, even here in Nigeria, MC Galaxy has been appointed as the national director of Miss Africana International. So and also he submitted his bid to host as well. Okay, so yes, my own opinion in terms of hosting was that at least the first edition will be hosted by an African country, because of course it's an African pageant that celebrates the diverse ethnicity, or diverse historical or the heritage of the African countries. Earlier I saw a post where they said aside from Nigeria and Ghana, who have submitted their bid to host on the African country, Vietnam and Philippines have also indicated interest to host the pageant. And I'm like, why would the pageant be held outside the African continent? Because for me, I feel like it's not that's not a good example, because of course it's an African pageant owned by an African, so why can't it be held here in Africa? Because of course we have to showcase the African culture to the outside world. Then if it's being held in Vietnam or Philippines, how are we going to be able to do that? I was really sad about the countries that have been indicated interest aside from Nigeria and Ghana. Because for me personally, I think it should be held in an African country. It shouldn't be held outside Africa. Abina said, "Oh no," she was like, "No, that is not the case, because any country can host, even if it's outside Africa." And I'm like, I beg to differ, from what she said, and I even put down my comments there on the post, on that particular post, and I'm like, I think it should be held in an African country, because of course this is the first edition, and we need to set that example, that Africa, to celebrate African culture and heritage and all that, So what do you guys think about it? Because for me personally, Abina needs to, have a rethink about that decision to host it outside Africa. It doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like it's not the right way to go about it, and I think there's a lot of things she needs to iron out in this particular pageant, because of course it's open to other countries as well. and or to ladies in other countries that are of African descent. But at the same time, we should not westernize it, okay? We should not westernize the pageant. That is just my own opinion. So what do you guys think about it? Comment down below in the comment section, and let's get on to the next gist. Now, on to the next gist. Mr. and Miss Supranational Nigeria are making a perfect duo over there in Poland, and they've been really doing very well. They've been performing very well, and so far so good. I think that both of them are going to place with the way they are going, with the way they have been active over there in Poland. They've been topping the charts as well. I think sincerely that both of them are going to place in the pageant, in the grand finale, which is going to take place next week. Okay, so of course I'm eagerly waiting for the preliminary competition to take place so that I can, give you guys my final prediction from the African region, and of course maybe my final prediction overall if I have the time. But so far so good. The African countries this year are very strong, and I put up what they wore during the interview, yes, on my YouTube shorts. Okay, so I really loved what they wore. I think that the African country this year, they are really coming in strong, for the fact that we have two Africans in the super chat final, the persons of Tanzania and Namibia. It shows that they came prepared, and of course they won the challenge, the leprosy challenge that was issued out to each of the continents. Africa won that particular challenge, and I'm going to be putting clips here for you guys to look at how they performed. But I would say that this year's contestants are really doing the continent proud, and I hope that at the end of the day we get to see about 3 African countries placing in the finals, which of course will not be too bad, okay? If we get to see 3 African countries placing in the finals, or 4 African countries placing in the finals, it will be a good one. But I'm eagerly anticipating the prelims, like I said, and that would be my own yardstick to judge who, in my opinion, or might likely place on the finals, on the grand finale. So that's it, guys, for today's bunch of pageant gist. Okay, so if you are just coming onto my channel for the very first time, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more pageant gist. Okay, and yes, hopefully you're able to follow on with my other content as well. All right, so thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you all in another video coming up very soon. Bye.